Hello, everybody, and welcome to Toonkind at 12 FPS. My name is Fable, and today I'll be playing Ansel King. Uh, and this is the I guess this is officially the first game we're playing in a new server, an official Little Corner server, which I should have made a while ago, but
The inaugural game.
inaugural game, which I feel like considering what we have planned, it's appropriate. Anyone listening to this recording, this is actually not that important to you because most of you will be listening to this on YouTube, but it's important to me, and I felt like saying it. Ah,
It's a milestone one
it's
way or
it's
another.
a milestone. It's a milestone. So, God, that just makes me think of how long have. It's definitely been over a year since Zan and Ansel have met.
Yeah. God, how long ago was the the event they try to pretend didn't happen?
Uh,
I do not have that one logged in my brain. Um
that's a good. I know it's over a year ago. I know that. I want to say a year and a half at least. That's what my brain.
that sounds about right.
That's what
Yeah.
my brain is telling me. I tried.
It
I tried looking it up.
was it an actual Valentine's Day thing?
Was it? That would be really
It's
funny if it
very
was. We could probably look this up at a later date. Uh, God, but now I'm thinking about it.
um
Now you've got me thinking about it. Was it on a Valentine's Day? That'd be really funny if it were. It would also
I
make.
wouldn't put a owl to make it something like that.
Oh, here it is. February 13th, 2021.
Oh my God, it really was.
Oh
It
my.
genuinely was. That's incredible.
That's impressive.
Oh,
I cannot believe this.
well,
How about that?
that being the case,
How
yeah,
about
yeah.
that, huh?
It's been a little over a year.
Yeah, yeah. How far they've come. Uh,
Indeed. No kidding. Comparing then to now is pretty wild.
it's. God, yeah. Shit's happened. Shit has happened. And not even just dramatic shit. Like,
Some
just
of it is just existing.
yeah, some of it's just existing. Like how like how Zan started has started. I guess he's basically started a clothesline essentially.
I think like they haven't officially started selling anything yet. They're still in sort of the testing phase of um trying to make the cloth right and make sure it holds up to the wear and tear that it is designed for.
Yeah, yeah.
Um
I can
I'm sure Ansel is like I wouldn't be surprised if Ansel is like pushing it like you don't need to keep testing it. We're ready to start the sales. And
I
Zayne's like, no, we have to be sure.
just one day. One day. This is probably one of those discussions they have more on a long distance call because they still have their own separate shit going on. Ansel being mayor
Yeah,
and Zan doing his thing. Uh
yeah. Zan has more or less he just enjoys having his own private place separate from Ruindoll and Little Corner. As much as he enjoys visiting, like it's not his vibe.
yeah. I get that. And Ansel's come to respect that. Uh, though the nice thing about being two magic men who both are in possession of cauldrons is that cauldron to cauldron communication is a thing for magic people.
Yeah, yeah. Zan still has the very special cauldron that brought them together in the first place, so that provides an especially secure connection between the two of them, I imagine.
Well, considering the other Ansel's also in possession of a very special cauldron that happens to kind of be his patron, sort of maybe. It's complicated.
It is complicated.
It's a secure connection. It's definitely a secure line. They get great signal from both those cauldrons.
Uh,
But anyways, I just imagine it's probably Ansel just on a short call. It's a weekend, and Ansel is just going over a few details and just you've tested it numerous times already. I think it's ready.
you can't rush this sort of thing. When a product goes public, you have to be absolutely sure. And the last thing I want is for us to overlook something that should have been obvious. And it's too soon. This isn't something we want to half-ass.
I don't disagree on that matter, but there does come a point where we're not going to be able to notice anything until it actually becomes tested.
But then we need to get more people in on it. We can't just let the public find out all the problems for us. That will ruin this venture before it even starts. I, it's important that
So a
we,
testing group is what we need then. I imagine I can do something about that.
yes, yes, you've got plenty of connections, I imagine, to at least help out.
One or
I'm sorry,
one
I
or two.
shouldn't be leaning on you so much for this stage of it, but
There's no
thank you.
apologies there's no apologies needed, and it's hardly much effort coming from my end. Heavens, most of what I've done is simply come up with more designs. You're the one who's been doing most of the work for it.
Please, as if that isn't incredible.
It was your
A
idea to
pipe
begin
dream with,
with.
and it would be a pipe dream without you.
Hmm. Well, either way. Oh, speaking. Before I forget, I do have a few different design, more variety of the old ones I sent over, and
Wonderful.
I was going to send them. However, seeing as how knowing you've not been out of your house in I would say a few weeks. I would say perhaps maybe you should come over here and pick them up. Get out of the house for a little bit.
Look, and there's just this moment of him trying to like find a way to deny it. Like you've talked with this man enough, you could absolutely tell he's trying to like come up with a comeback and way to deny it, and just coming up dry. It's like,
Not to mention Miss Saga is away for the weekend, and she has ended up making me a bit a bit much when it comes to leftovers, and I'm afraid I have no one to help me finish it all before it goes bad.
well, if you truly need my help in that regard, I suppose I can make the trek. Me,
I would cert I would certainly appreciate it. I'm sure you can find time to make your way over here. And
maybe a day or two, but go ahead.
you could just see on Zan could very easily see on Ansel's end. It's again Ansel's expressions are usually very subtle, but he is very much just amused and enjoying this conversation.
And Zan, he is a little bit exasperated, but again, Ansel can tell it's practically performative at this point. Um, just all right. Well, I have a couple of uh projects I'm working on with Blink that I would want to wrap up before I head over, but I'm sure I can get there within the next day or two.
All right then. I will. I'll be sure to have things ready for you then when you get here.
And as you two are sort of discussing a little bit of plans, suddenly, Ansel, there's a loud booming sound.
Oh,
Not like explosion booming, just a very loud sort of thudding.
uh, hold, hold on, hold on a minute, Zan. I may need to cut this conversation short.
Oh,
I think Ruby just got back. I could have sworn she was going to be gone for another day or two. I best go get that.
well, I hope everything's all right. I'll talk to you soon.
Talk to you soon. Until then. And with like a little wave of his hand, the image, the connection between the cauldrons dissipates, and he will go out his study and see and start because banging like that. His first assumption is Ruby and friends are home doing something, making noises. And on
Mm-hmm.
one hand, he's glad that Ruby
Um,
has a friend group, but child, please.
um, I'm gonna I'm gonna roll something real quick.
Cool.
Uh,
That's a 6. That was a 9.
oh, okay, yeah. So the six is what will do it. You don't even need to roll a perception check to figure out what's happening because a certain someone has a disadvantage on stealth.
Ha! Oh, you got you. Wow.
Oh,
Wow. Disadvantage
good
on
job,
stealth,
buddy.
and both the rolls were garbage.
Yeah, both of them were already terrible.
Yeah, it was a 9 and a
I could have
6.
let that first one stand, but I needed to see if it was like a nat one.
It would have been a god. So 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 when Ansel walks out his study, what does he see? What sight greets him?
So you basically see like it's along it's like the chamber leading to the entrance. The door has been knocked open and to someone who uh maybe had a better stealth, it would look like an empty room, except you can very clearly see a like bright ring of light from behind a pillar. Just light like a big neon sign.
I obviously behind a pillar, but does Ansel even need to roll to know who that is?
um you can like I'd say make a history roll extremely low DC, like
Yeah, I'll just
just
make
to be sure.
yeah, yeah. Oh, wait, that's the wrong one. Wrong modifier. There we go. Wait, really? Is that right? Oh, it is. Wow. 23, yeah. So I think he just stares at the pillar for a moment and just goes, "Ah, Erroll. Oddly enough, I was expecting you sooner."
And there's like just a sort of shifting of the light. You can imagine he sort of like did a panic jump as you called his name before. Yeah, Errol. You have not seen this guy in a while. He steps out. He has his blade at the ready and he is glaring.
What?
Hello.
You realize you could have knocked, yes?
I would be coming in one way or another.
Obviously. And obviously does not appear to be a friendly visit.
Well, you invited me to come and check in on what you are up to here.
I did.
As you said, I'm overdue.
Alright then. Well, since you are checking in, I suppose you would want a tour of the place.
Yes, I've heard a lot of things about how you run things around here.
Ah, so you've been to town already then.
And Ansel, you remember this guy was already very, very suspicious of you.
Mm-hmm.
You don't need to roll an insight check to know that he is just salute like borderline vibrating with uh not even anger, just like general distrust and dislike and uh
Basically, just how he remembers him. But
yeah, pretty much. And he basically he raises his sword and sort of points it at you. He's like, I don't know what you've done to these people, but I advise you would lower your charms.
my charms. What do you... Oh, I see. You think, right. No, that makes sense. While I can understand the distrust, you seem to misunderstand. I have done no... I have not committed or put any charms over the people of Little Corner.
I'm sure you would very much like me to believe that, but I find it a little bit difficult to take you at your word.
Hmm.
Doesn't matter what you've come to look like, you're still a lich.
Ansel's ears twitch down a little bit at that, though uh, his face remains pretty neutral. Hmm. So what do you expect to happen
Yeah,
now then?
is it not obvious? I'm here to thwart you, properly free this place.
Thwart. That is the word. Such an old word. That's me saying it. So you were expecting a fight then?
You don't have to fight back.
Very well. I'm not interested in fighting you to be at all, really.
Brilliant. And he runs at you.
I I don't know if I can roll anything to dodge because Ansel's not gonna attack him. He's kind of just gonna. This is not the first time someone's come at him with. It's. I mean, it's been a while. It's actually been a real long while since someone's tried to come at him with a
Let's just
sword.
see. Does the 16 hit him?
Not if Ansel throws up a shield.
All right. Yeah, there's you see him coming, obviously. And before he could get to you, you throw up the shield and there's sort of a magical array of sparks. I'm not playing around here. You've been raising child soldiers. You've been keeping some sort of magical portal underneath your castle? I don't know how foolish you think I am, but I'm not letting you get away with whatever you're plotting.
For starters, the children are not soldiers; they are children. Secondly, the portal is now closed. Thirdly, can we talk about this because this is ridiculous?
I am not interested in whatever you have to say.
Well, I am not interested in fighting you. And I think he's gonna give a push with his shield, and he's actually gonna turn and start trying to get away from Erroll. Cause nope, he's not doing this. He's not engaging in whatever this is. Cause whatever Erroll thinks of him, and obviously trying to attack him, this is still Zan's friend, and he genuinely does not
Uh,
harbor any ill will towards Erroll.
oh, that is sweet of him.
He's trying. He's learning.
he is he is trying. He is absolutely trying. And unfortunately, Errol is just taking a big sippy of the stupid hero juice.
Oh boy.
um, God,
How do we want to do this?
yeah. Uh, yeah.
We've.
Erroll, unfortunately, is not going to be stopping at just letting himself get tossed away, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Ooh, but he rolls lower than before, and yeah, you are very easily just sort of knocking his attacks aside. Um,
I think he manages. I think he just manages to just step out of the way for when that next swing comes around.
um,
'Cause that 13 don't do it.
yeah, that 13 does not manage to get close. Um,
I'm trying to think of what to do next. The problem with this is that that besides shield, there's what do I
Wait a
have?
second. I
What
need to
do I?
double check something.
I'm
Oh
checking.
wait, he gets 2 attacks per action. He
Oh,
gets to try again.
uh oh, uh oh, yeah. And shield don't do anything. And
23.
shield will not help me with that. Oh no.
Yeah, unfortunate, but um uh oh, he rolled 2 1s on the damage.
That's two
So
ones on the damage.
so yeah, you only take 4.
I feel like that's like a slash across the back, but it just like barely like cuts the skin, but like barely cuts the skin or something.
And his sword has a sort of ethereal glow about it. You know enough about magic. You know he is uh, wielding a radiant weapon, which, if you were still undead, that would be
Yeah, that would.
bad, bad, bad
Yeah,
news.
Ansel's just like, oh, I am so happy I am not. I am so happy I am not dead anymore. More and action and what's he gonna do? What's what do I have that is not uh that is not murder people spells? Hold on.
Yeah.
Ansel is
I was just like, oh, I'm sure you are.
really Errol. I must be honest with you. I do not have magic that is not non-lethal. I do not want to fight you.
And yet you care so deeply for this town. He is,
What do I have?
let's see.
What do I have? What do I have? What do I have? I'm like looking through my spells right now to see if I have anything that could help in a fight. That is not. And I don't. I have maybe. I have those. I don't know if that'll work. Wait, will that work? Maybe that might work. That might work. Really, really, Errol. I suggest you stop. And I need Errol to make a wisdom saving throw.
Oh, good call. Let's see.
One thing that he's got. Also, I need to roll d20 again because, haha, wild magic sorcerer. 13, I'm good.
Oh, ho, ho. All
Oh, that's an
right.
8. That's a,
Yeah,
yeah.
I assume that shakes it off pretty well.
Yeah, that. Dang, yeah, that I was not expecting a good roll, but yeah, that shakes it.
Neither was I. Oh, yeah, he I guess inherited all of Larry's good rolls.
Oh my god. No, Dang it, no, Errol. Stop it. Stop stealing your brother's good rolls.
He's the fortunate son.
The
Um,
favorite, the favorite child.
yeah, in more than one way. And he'll, uh, he scoffs and goes, "I suggest you take me a little more seriously." Um, and he is going to. Boop, boop, boop. He's in full dumb paladin mode. He's just gonna keep at it with the sword instead of getting magical right now.
Alright.
Whoop.
Yeah, that, that once again hits.
Mm.
Dice
I'm
Person.
sorry.
Dice Person really likes Errol. Oh dear.
Yep. Yeah. Oh boy. Here we go. Let's again. Mhm. 9 damage.
9 Wow, isn't not great on damage rolls though.
Yeah. Win some, lose some. Second attack. Another
Yeah. Oh
21.
my god. Yeah, that hits. What the heck? It's two 16s
Oh
in a roll.
boy.
+5. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no.
Whoop. That's the number I want. 7 damage. Okay. Yeah, that's the thing about you know, uh someone who can fight melee versus a caster is you don't want them in your personal space.
Really, really don't. Speaking of personal space, wait, do I have? I do.
Hmm.
I do. Hold on. You know what? Ansel's gonna be cheeky. He's
Oh, good.
he's got safe to say he's already brought out his staff at this point, but now he has staff in one hand. He slaps a hand to his chest, and suddenly bright electric blue magical wings sprout from his back, and he is going to cast
Oh,
Fly on himself,
oh my God.
which grants him.
Um,
Oh, oh no! But in doing so, causes a wild magic surge.
and what happens?
Well, I need to roll some. I need to roll a D100 real quick.
Oh my God.
Oh no, what's gonna happen? So 33. That's what does that do? What does that do? Uh, something that he can't. He's not gonna do. Maximize the damage of the next damaging spell you cast within the next minute. Essentially,
Oh, buddy.
it boosts his damage spells. But he's not gonna cast any damage spells at Erroll right now. So you
That would
just
be a really, really cool thing to roll in any other
you
situation.
Errol,
Oh,
you see Ansel start to lift off from the ground, and you see his entire form just consumed in light and electricity, and you see some of it kind of gathering in his hands, but he just tries to like, no, no, I am not fighting you, and he's gonna try and use his movement to just 60 feet to just get away, which actually I think
hmm.
on a two-person fight, does attack of opportunity still kind of happen?
I think so.
Oh, it does. So,
Yep, yep.
oh, okay.
That's what I thought.
I've I've made this bed. Now I'll lie
Oh,
in it.
but Errol does miss on that one. He was not expecting you to sprout wings. Um,
Yeah, so he
so
misses.
you do start darting away. But he lets out a growl of frustration, and I mean, it's no huge shock what happens next. Probably, Errol sprouts his own pair of wings,
Are you
and
kidding
take
me?
base. Yeah, that's the fun thing about Asmar is they do that.
Bloody hell, bloody hell, bloody hell.
Yeah, his eyes like glow bright silvery blue, and two uh glowing golden wings erupt from his back as he flies right after you. Uh
Ansel is cursing under his breath.
Again, just uh, stand and fight me, coward. Oh, bad roll. He's a little bit shaky on his wings. He hasn't used them in a bit. That one, I think, will do it. The 19.
Yeah, even with shield, that's a meter beat. That's a meet and beat.
Yep.
So I think he manages to dodge the first two attacks, and then the third one.
Mm-hmm.
Third one gets him.
Third one gets him. Beep boop. 14 damage.
Mm, that hurts. That hurts. The
How
spell.
you doing, Ansel?
He's still standing. He's not. I don't think this counts as bloody yet. I actually don't know when a character becomes bloody. Is it like below double digits, under double digit, or something? I don't know how D&D
Uh,
works.
it's when they're beat pretty bad. Oh,
Oh,
half.
oh,
Okay.
okay, yeah. He's bloody. Never mind. He's bloody. There's Toon blood. There's Toon blood happening.
Oh, good. Uh, yeah. Errol, he is not letting up. He is not letting you run. Ansel, what are you gonna do?
Uh, he's sticking to his guns and not to not hurt this fair god.
This big, huge idiot.
I don't know if it'll work like this, but you know what? I'll try. You know what? Ansel's really trying to. Probably this is probably him not being very smart, and like maybe he should defend himself, but it's like I don't want to. Like if I hit you right now, I will probably kill you, and I'm not doing that. Not doing that anymore. So instead, he is going to gather up three dancing lights into his hand, form them into one huge ball of light, and basically shove it into Errol's face, and then try and book it away again.
Okay.
I don't know if that will do anything.
Um, I'll say, I guess I'll make a Constitution save to see if he gets blinded.
Yeah, it'll probably be a very temporary blind, like just probably for
Yeah,
that turn.
yeah. 15. I'll say like he lets out a yell, and like he doesn't get blinded, but it gives him just a moment to like stagger where you get some distance between the two of you.
Saves him
So
from
it's
an
like,
opportunity attack at least,
yeah, yeah.
as
Like
he's
he is still after you, he's still chasing, but
yeah. Ansel's gonna
yeah.
start flying towards Little Corner.
Oh, good. Um,
He needs help with this. He needs someone who can fight Errol without killing him in one possible shot.
okay. If that's what he's going to do, I think Erroll will. He is frustrated, and I don't know, this isn't exactly how we expected things to go, but like also it's going good. So now he's just annoyed. Uh So he is going to hold out a hand and fling a ball of light at Ansel.
Oh joy.
Let's see. Ooh, but misses. You see a sort of kaleidoscope of light go off, but he misses you by a wide enough margin that you are not affected by it.
Nice.
Yay! Um,
How long does fly last?
yeah.
Okay, it's concentration that lasts up to 10 minutes. Okay.
Yeah.
Do I have to roll concentration whenever I get hit in midair?
Uh, I believe so. Yes.
Okay, good to know. Good to know.
Yeah. We'll let that first round go because neither of us thought of it and we're
Yeah.
dumb. But
Well, we're not done. We're just
um
listen. D&D hard.
D&D hard, okay?
It's fun, but it's
Um
also hard because there's a lot of rules.
yeah. He is going to try again though because two attack per round.
Also,
He-
for anyone wondering, Ansel does have message. Problem is that message, I believe, is just it is 120 feet. However, it's at least a
That's enough
half hour.
time to hit.
It's at least a half hour walk from the castle to Little Corner, and that's a nat 20. That hits.
That is a nat 20 to hit with chromatic orb.
Balls.
Um yeah, yeah.
This is fine. While you roll damage, I'm gonna roll concentration.
Yeah.
Would it just be straight con or a con save?
Hold on. Uh,
I think it's just straight con.
it is no. Chromatic orb is different from what is it? Chromatic spray. Very confusing naming, but no, he that is a damagey spell. Um,
Well, yeah. While you roll damage, I'm still rolling concentration
yeah. Oh, yeah.
to see
Concentration.
whether or not this sends
Uh,
Ansel plummeting. I'm just gonna roll straight con.
3d8. You take 13 damage from just a sort of the the ball of light explodes into just a wave of sound as you take 13 thunder damage.
Yep, and
And it
Ansel just lost
it
concentration.
knocks you right out of the sky.
Yeah, how much fall? How much? What do I roll for fall damage?
It depends on how high up he would be.
He
Like,
was a decent height considering the way he flew out. He flew out through the open roof of Ruindal.
oh, he flew through the roof. Oh no.
Yeah,
Oh,
because there
honey.
was an open ceiling, and it was the most obvious way out. Plus, Ruindal's on a hill, and it's a downhill walk to Little Corner.
Oh no.
What am I rolling?
Um, God, fall damage is such a weird calculation.
1d6 per 10 feet. So probably. Well, it's definitely not 20d6. I'm gonna say I'm gonna say he was probably 30 something feet, 20 to 30.
Okay,
So
that
let's
tracks.
just do 3d6. I'm gonna die. Oh no.
Oh no.
This is oh wow. This is not going how I expected. Oh wait,
Oh
I did that
boy.
wrong.
Oh, you forgot your exclamation point.
I did. Yeah, okay.
Oh boy.
Cool. So Ansel hits the ground and he's not moving.
Yeah, okay. Um, Errol lands next to the unconscious body, and no one is around. There's absolutely no one here to see or to stop as Errol just lifts up his sword. And what do I even need to roll?
You
I don't
really,
think I do.
you don't? Because Ansel can't do anything. Even if I made a death save, it wouldn't do anything.
Yeah, yeah. He hits you. That automatically takes out two of your death saves, and I mean,
I actually looked at it.
yeah.
I don't, I have like even two of the death saves, that is. Yeah, there's one more death save I could possibly make, but I don't think that's gonna.
Yeah, I think Errol, he's just oh God, this was more of a curb stomp than I expected. I'm so sorry.
I
But
honestly,
yeah,
I kind of expected it because I just knew Ansel wasn't gonna fight. So, what does Errol do after that? You've stabbed you've stabbed him in the back, and he is just on the ground, dead.
I think he God, you know what? He wants to be sure, so what he's going to do is just like do a twist of the sword as like a finisher to just knock out that last death save.
God, yeah, yeah. I think what sucks is that he is while he is a Frankenalley tune, he's an old Frankenalley tune, and there are some old and specifically the old movie that he's from was it had some graphic, well not super graphic, but enough to where you're gonna hear a definite sound of something twisting and snapping, and yeah,
Yep,
he's
yep. The evil bonehead. uh and Errol, he pulls out the sword. Justice was served.
actually, can I say before he pulls out the sword?
Yeah.
Just as he's about to pull out the sword, can Errol make a dex saving throw for me?
Okay. Let's see. 12. Fable?
Hmm. What? Sorry, I didn't look. 12. I'm.
I got a 12.
I'm gonna say. I'm gonna say. I'm gonna say no, as Ansel's body suddenly erupts in green flames, and you're gonna take. I'm gonna say. Does 2d6 fire damage sound fair?
Yeah, that tracks.
Yeah. So 2d6 fire damage. So 10 fire damage.
Okay.
What does Errol do anything upon getting blitzed with
I
fire?
mean, he is going to he is certainly startled. He wasn't expecting that.
Yeah.
Uh um I think what he ends up doing is just casting a bless on himself
Mm-hmm.
to see to like brace himself for how this is.
Yeah, you place a bless upon yourself as you feel the burning of fire, and and Ansel's body begins to rise. The fire is still burning hot. There's almost like it's almost like an acidic burn, yet it's fire. Fire. It's the strangest thing. And as it settles, Ansel now stands there, skeleton form. His horns have turned jet black, and when he turns to face Errol, a skeleton face stares back at him with furious green glowing green glowing eye sockets.
There you are.
and and without warning, the horns of his staff are going to glow green and double in length as he is going to cast Booming Blade and attempt to stab at Erroll.
Cool. My dude.
Which that's going to be, what is the staff? It is +3. I had to change over character sheets. It's probably not going to hit. Oh no, it does.
Oh, that super hits.
Ha! It's only 1D. It's wait. I'm checking something real quick to make. Okay, so if I'm doing Booming Blade, it becomes a 1d8 of damage and then becomes 2d8 if you move away. Hold on. Ah. Okay, no, it becomes the weapon's attacks normal damage and then okay, that's what happens. So it is just a d6. So you take 5. You take 5 damage, and you suddenly feel you suddenly feel a crackling of energy go through your body.
Ooh. Cool. Um, I'm assuming from the way you described it that is it that Errol's sword is still stuck in
Yeah,
the Antlered King?
there is. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention that part. Yeah, Errol's sword. You actually see the sword still stabbed, still very much embedded in the Antlered King's chest.
Nice. Um, he is he growls and goes, no matter what face you put on, I knew that this was underneath. And he will pull out his javelin to attack.
Oh, has it been less than a minute? I feel like it's been more than a minute. Or has it?
Uh, you know what? Just like we fast forwarded through it, but I imagine that moment where where Ansel fell to the ground and Errol landed next to him. I feel like that could have put it over a minute.
Yeah. Plus, I don't. Plus, I think once he died, the wild magic kind of dispersed
True.
because now he's no longer using his own magic.
He attacks with his javelin, and I can imagine just sort of Antler just sort of knocking him aside.
Yeah, he just knocks the javelin out of the way, and he's just gonna hit him again with the staff. He's still not using magic, but he is pissed off. Uh, I warned you that I did not want to fight, and I'm just gonna roll the hit again. 19.
Oh, that yeah, that beats it.
D6. So 3 damage. I told. I even went through the trouble of running away. I was not interested in fighting you.
You're as cowardly as you are pathetic. He he's not backing down because he's got bee in his bonnet. You have knocked the javelin aside. I'm just imagining, like, for the sake of cool, um it's like you've not sort of knocked that out of his hands, and then he just tries to punch you, which only does a flat 3 damage.
Yeah. I feel like you just punch the skeleton face and it doesn't even move, but you just see this just fury growing on his face. Coward. You You call that being a coward, choosing not to fight? And he's gonna. He's really mad at. He's so mad. He's. You know what? He's gonna. He is. He is going to. Put his staff right up against Errol's chest and cast Eldritch Blast. And that's gonna
Ooh.
be 2 beams, so. So just gonna. I gotta roll for both. So 16.
Nope.
So for the other one, that's a dirty 20.
30-20 will do it.
Okay.
Eldritch Blast is like force damage, right?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Roll damage on that bad boy.
Yep, that's gonna be a 1. So d10 plus 3. 8 damage.
Okay. Yeah, Errol, he is the one who is bloodied. And as you blast him and he is knocked back. Um and ugh. Run from justice. You run from what you've
Oh
done.
wait, oh wait, add a plus. Sorry, add a. Did I? Oh, never mind. I did add a +3. Never mind.
Yeah, you did. Um,
Sorry, carry on.
you. I have read the history books. I know what you are. No pretty face, no happy town can deny what you have done.
You think I do not know that?
And yet, here you are.
What else would I be doing? What else can I do? I am more than aware that there is nothing I can do to make up for what I have done.
You can rot. He's gonna try and attack again. Um, he's gonna try another chromatic orb. 16 hit.
Uh. Oh, I don't have. Oh, he doesn't have. He doesn't have shield. Yeah, that hits.
Uh, uh, yeah, this one. Uh, beep boop.
Ooh, but I do have a reaction.
Ah,
Do
it's
have
3d8.
a reaction, and I believe that is a. Okay, I need Errol to make another dex save for me, cause hellish rebuke.
Ah,
Nope.
12. I'm guessing that doesn't do it.
Nope. So that's right. So I'm sorry. What's hit him with chromatic orb?
Yeah, chromatic orb, another blast of thunder.
Oh, you hit him with. Oh, you hit him with thunder, and you see that electricity go through him for a moment, and you just see it move through his body for a moment. He moves his hand in a way and shoots it right back. And you are going to
Oh,
take. I got to roll a 5d10. 5d10. Though it comes,
whew.
though when it comes back in the form of a raging fire, because Hellish Rebuke is fire damage. That is 15
Great.
damage.
15. Yeah, that you see, and so that moment of just panic and terror and fear before the fire knocks him unconscious and he falls and uh does not move. Oh, how the turntables.
Ansel is going to lean over onto his staff for a moment and just. And, oh, he can't breathe. He doesn't have lungs and he can't breathe anymore. But he just tries to center himself, and before he can let any sort of real realization of what has just happened take over, he quickly waves his hand towards Errol and casts Spare the Dying to
The
make sure he does not even if he's really did not want to kill this man, he still does not want to. And then after that, he takes another breath. I'm gonna roll Hammer Space real quick. All right, and he quickly pulls out rope. God, I'm trying to think of what to, of. Yeah, he just starts moving. He's not gonna let himself think about it yet. He's got Errol stable, but when Errol does wake up, he not like this. He can't let him stay here, so he will tie up Errol, and oh, he can't carry him. He's not strong. He's not strong enough like this. His arms will pop up if he even tries picking up Errol, especially with all that armor. I feel like this is part where we cut we cut to maybe a couple hours later, when Errol wakes up.
uh,
Errol, you
um
you feel sore as all hell, but you feel not particularly the softest uh bed, but not the most uncomfortable. Uh, you're on a bed, but you can't really move your hands that well. You think you can get up. You're still sore though, but you're alive.
once he realizes, one, he's alive after where he left off, but two, he is restrained. He is going to like sit up, like bolt upright, and then immediately he's got just got absolutely annihilating headache.
Good morning, sunshine. Actually, it's the afternoon. Actually,
Where am I?
you are at the little corner prison. Well, it's not really a prison; it's more of a prison cell. Point. But yeah, you're in a cell. And yeah, Errol, you look around. You are in fact in. You are in fact in a cell. And at the door to your cell, it is locked shut. Standing there with her arms crossed, foot tapping a little bit, is a real kind dwarven woman with red curly hair
And
and beard.
he blinks at her and how do I...
Mm-hmm. Think it through.
Bastard must have... Look, whatever that bastard told you, he didn't... God, where is he?
Uh, at the moment, he's in. Actually, where? Hey, Carter, is he still? No, he left. Oh, great, he left. Great, he left. Well, he's gone and left. He's gone in. He's gone outside, which is not surprising. He won't even let us. Would you kindly care to explain why? Why I? God, I am not paid enough for this. Let me tell you this from my perspective, buddy. I get a call from Ansel saying he needs help moving someone who's collapsed in the middle of the road. And I think, well, that's weird, but no more than the usual weird. Then I show up and I see you beat to shit and tied up, and then I see him standing there, dead, with a sword in his back. Care to explain?
I know he has pulled the wool over your eyes, and you must think he's your benevolent mayor. But here's the thing, that man is a lich. I was exacting justice on an undead creature.
Where
Whatever.
are you kidding me? Has no one told you? Literally everyone knew that. Literally,
Then
he showed up here as a skeleton. We already knew that. What? Yeah, did no one tell you? Did no one? I guess not, because he hasn't been, because he, hasn't been dead in a while. But great, great.
I met him as a skeleton. I met him as a bastard.
So
Whatever pretty little words he has said to you to trick you into thinking he's fine and that he's past it, he has been lying to you. He has been using you. How can you not see it?
you just see the look. You just see a dumbfounded look cross her face. You have got. Oh my. Great. Great. I'm dealing with an idiot. I'm dealing with an idiot. Oh, I'm dealing with a. Oh no, I'm dealing with a hero wannabe. Oh, that's even worse. Ugh. Great. 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 So basically, everything you just said is all accounts to bullshit, essentially. And you have essentially have just, you've killed a guy. You've killed a guy with no actual. Do you have any actual proof of the lying or the wool over my eyes?
I have a long history of him razing cities to the ground, razing
Yeah,
countries.
the antlered king. I know the story. Look at I'm a dwarf. I'm 200 years old. I know the stories, dude.
And you're just willing to whatever he has done now does not mean he gets to escape from justice from everything he's done now. It doesn't matter
I'm sorry.
that
You
you
think I'm
think
sorry. You think you're that justice? You just come in.
someone else is
You
going to be.
we have no reason to. He hasn't done anything.
He
He's in
has
fact
done plenty. What about what gives you the right to write off all the things he's done in the
I
past?
haven't. Don't mistake this for me writing it off. But this, what you've done, that's not how he has done bad things. I know it. Everyone knows it. God, the amount of times he makes it a point. Literally, when I first met the guy, when I first started working with him, that was all he would say is, I'm not a nice person. You shouldn't trust me at all." God, the amount of times he kept saying it. But guess what, buddy? At no point has he actually done anything. Has he done shit in the past? Sure. And that shit was bad and it is things to look out for. I am not going to dispute that. But right now at this moment, he has not done a single he has not done a single thing to give me reason to not trust him or to even pull the shit that you just pulled. As far as things stands, you just killed a guy for doing for nothing. Essentially nothing.
How can you possibly call it nothing?
Because if you know the stories, then you know he already paid for it.
Well, he's
he already died for the shit he pulled.
exactly, and he's cheating it again. I I helped him cheat it, and I can't forgive myself for that.
How do you,
I'm
how
not I'm not going to back down on this. I can't I can't forgive myself for letting him just walk off as if he's I can't I understand that he has been good to you,
No,
but I
no, you
simply
no. I'm
cannot
sorry.
forgive.
No, shut up for a second. You don't get it. Cause here's the other thing. Sure, you were gonna kill him. Tell me, what would you have done if the kids were there?
I would have gotten them somewhere safe,
Would you?
away from him.
I promise you that those kids would have gotten in your way. What then?
I I would not have let those children get hurt.
And neither would he. And neither would he. And they sure as hell weren't gonna let you hurt him. Has it occurred to you that people can change? Has that occurred to you?
People can. He gave up being a person all those years ago. You, a lich is not a person. It is.
And man, I don't even know how to describe the look on Jenka's face, but she just looks at you, Errol. It's almost a mix. It's a mix of anger that, oh god, this guy's an idiot, but also in a pitying sort of way of, oh god, this guy's an idiot.
He's just he's also kind of looking at her with a similar sort of expression. Like she has absolutely got a peg. Like, yes, this guy is an idiot, but he is very much in the mode of like, oh, this poor woman doesn't even see what she is signing up for, and that probably just makes her more frustrated, I imagine.
Yeah,
But yeah, he is not backing down on this.
doesn't change the fact that you cannot just come into a town and enact your own form of justice on someone, whether you believe them to be wrong or not. If we if we allowed that sort of thing to happen, people would just be killing at people are killing at random. What am I talking about? And it sucks. But the fact is, you killed someone. You had no right, you had no authority to do so. And as far as I'm concerned, you have just put yourself as a threat to people in this town.
So what are you going to do with me?
What what do you think? You're gonna stay here until we can get a proper until we can get you properly checked and then have a hearing. You know, like fucking democracy. God, what? I have to explain this to people. Speaking of which, speaking of which, because you pissed me off enough to forget. You have a right to an attorney. If you cannot afford an attorney, one will be provided for you by the law of Jiznep. And then she starts basically reading him his Miranda rights.
A little delayed on that
A
one.
little delayed. She was a bit mad because she also considers Ansel a friend at this point, and she was not happy about seeing him scale a man with a sword in his back.
Um, And Errol just, as she goes off, he just closes his eyes and just lies back down in his cot.
And yeah, he's probably going to be left there for a bit. But as she's finished off reading him his rights and starts to leave, she stops by the door and says, "You know, he was gonna encourage us to let you go for this."
He doesn't say anything.
You may think people can't change, but everyone here does. And we really want him to believe it too. And then she leaves. Uh, as for Ansel, he has he essentially dropped off Errol, explained a few things to Carter, and basically said, and then went back to Ruindal, and probably shut himself in a room. And this is the part where I make a whiz save to see how he's doing with that. 15. So not terrible. He sits in his study, just in it. I can't really even sit in a chair because of the sore in his back, and he does not have the strength to get it out. So he is just pacing, hands gripping tight together as he is just, "I'm fine, I'm fine, I'm fine." And he's just telling himself for who knows how long. It's he probably spends the entire time there, uh, for the next couple days, because the kids are out. The Ruby is out with friends for a couple more days, so she has not come back during this time. Duster is busy with Love and the Tiny, so he has not been seen. Uh, all the other people who work at Ruindal, they have been given time off during this time. So probably the next person to show up would be Zan.
I, God, yeah. Um, there's a light. He sort of lightly knocks at the door, and I don't even know. Did Ansel even lock the doors behind him again afterwards?
The very front doors of Ruindal, that those doors are still broken down. He has not fixed those yet. He doesn't have the
Uh,
capability of fixing those at the moment. So
oh yeah, yeah. So Zan, he comes like and doesn't he isn't greeted by anyone upon arrival, which is already a little strange, but people are busy. It's whatever. Um, but as he walks up to Ruindal and sees the state of the front doors, like suddenly he's moving a lot faster. Um, and as he gets past the broken doors and it is just dead quiet. Ansel, Ansel, where are you? Where? Hello?
you hear
Anyone?
you hear no response, but you do see a light coming out from under the door, from Ansel's study.
Um, and he goes and like Zan's in enough of a panic at the state he found things in that he's going to try and throw open the door, no knocking even.
Uh, I guess make a strength because the doors are locked.
Okay. Not his best skill, but whatever, that's fine. Um, I think it's just yeah,
18.
18.
Wow. Wow. Nothing. Wow. Yeah. I. The doors were locked, but the strength of worry
Like
of a worried friend certainly
yeah,
they were
he
not
does.
prepared for that. So you
That is yeah, a wizard in adrenaline mode. Just he bursts out. And there's absolutely like a throbbing in his shoulder. It's like that's probably going to be a bruise later, but in the moment he's just looking around. And
the
I assume he sees his friend.
you yeah you the room itself. I luckily rolled a 15 on the whiz save, so the room has not been trashed. Uh, but you do see over by the cauldron, leaning against his side. You see skeleton Ansel just leaning against it, sitting down, and he just with the sword still there. Uh, you maybe see maybe like a few like smudges on the blade from where he attempted to try and get it out but failed, and he just slowly looks up at Zan and just, oh, hello Zan. I
Oh
apologies.
my
I didn't hear
God,
you. I
what?
was
He like has immediately just rushed up to like kneel down next to him, like, oh my God, what?
careful. I haven't been able to get this out of my chest yet.
Oh, oh my God. Um, oh my gosh. And like his hands are shaking, like he's just um oh goodness. All right. Let
I'm
oh gosh, let me um hold still. I'll take oh no. I'll get it. I'll get it. I
it's please don't worry yourself. I'm not really hurt or anything. It's just stuck.
Ansel, don't please just hold still. Uh, um and he will go around behind you and oh God, this is gruesome. Um, but he puts his hands on the sword and uh pulls it out.
And yeah, Ansel just I still kind of want to make you. No, I'm not. You pull it out because you actually have muscles.
And immediately he just like drops it on the floor and then like kicks it away. Um
Ansel just kind of
and
gives a shiver as the sword comes out, just like, ugh, that's actually a bit better. And he kind of straightens up because he hasn't been able to. You just hear several pops of his spine and just, ugh, that's better. I hadn't realized.
and Zed again has just like gotten down on his knees and he like pulls Ansel into a hug, like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. I should have gotten here. Oh my God, Ansel.
Ansel just
What?
freezes in the hug for a moment, but he just puts his hands on Zane's shoulders. No, how could you? This is not. Do not apologize for this. How could you have possibly known? I
God.
I should have called you sooner to inform you ahead of time. That is on me for not informing you.
gosh. I
And
he pulls back just a little to look in the face, and oh god, he got so used to the living one. It's hard to look at this version again just because oh god. Oh no. It
you will notice
is a
though,
terrible.
it's
Hmm.
yeah, it's not great though. You will notice that the when you first met him, the bones had been a sickly green, but now they it looks like they have paled, and now they are much more of a natural bone white.
What
Ah,
what happened? Where
ah.
is everyone else
No,
safe? What?
no, everyone's fine. Ruby is out with friends for a while, and Duster, I imagine, has been busy with his own things. Everyone else, I've given time off. Everyone is fine. Uh, however, Erroll is currently in the jails in Little Corner.
Errol?
Yes, he came to visit. I
What?
I did not wish to hurt him. He's fine, physically at least. Uh,
Ansel. Oh my god. I oh after what you did for him, you I don't
to
understand how
to be fair, to be fair, at that time I had not done it for him. He had every right not to trust any of this. He kind of gestures around and even at himself.
I the, the potion. I gave
And Ansel
to
kind
you.
of, you don't see a real expression on his skeletal face. It scrunches maybe just a little bit, and I gave them to Ruby before she. Well, I gave one to Ruby before she left, and I gave the other to Duster.
I
They're, to be fair, no one has tried to kill me in a minute, and it. I wanted them to be safe.
I oh, I'm sorry. I used it up on. I'll make more. We can make more.
We
God,
don't,
Ansel.
we do not need to rush. We do not need to rush. Zan,
Ansel.
it is not,
Ansel.
it's not ideal, but I'm not,
Ansel
he,
will make more. Just because just because you can be like this doesn't mean you should be a moment longer than you have to. And he just sort of he cups a hand against, where the cheek would be.
Ansel
You
kind
can
of,
make all the excuses you want, but you don't deserve this.
hey, and he looks like he is trying to think of an argument, and but instead he just kind of puts a hand over over Zan's for a moment and just. I can barely feel your hand. I can barely feel it. I'd been so used to this before, I do not know why it's. Zan, I do not like this. I can't breathe. I can barely feel anything. I was used to this. I lived like this for so long. Why is this so? I do not, I do not wish for the others to see me like this.
Right. And he gently takes, like, first twists his hand to take the one that Ansel has cut around his, and then and takes the other hand and guides him to stand up. And we'll get to it right away. Well,
Right, right,
we'll bring you back.
right, I, I, I should, hold on, I should leave. I need to leave a note. I need to leave a note. Uh, and he seems reluctant to let go of your hands, but he does for a moment, if just to go to his desk real quick, right, no, actually, right. He quickly, in a very toonish way, writes several notes, just saying he is going to be away for 2 weeks, just 2 weeks. Duster is in charge. Ruby, this does not exclude you from doing your chores. Do not set anything on fire while he's gone. Basically, the whole shebang. Uh,
I think while he is writing those notes, like, uh, Zan is sort of like, he has been here enough times. He knows the layout. He knows how to get to Ansel's room and um, gather up supplies, things he needs. He he's just sort of like preemptively helping Ansel pack, and I'm sure, you know, he's sure Ansel would just be like, "Oh no, I don't need any of that. It's fine. Shut up. He's bringing your things with him."
Ansel does look a bit surprised that once he's like finished hanging up some of the like notes in obvious places to find for the others, he does look a bit surprised that Zan suddenly shows up with with his things, and he does attempt to argue, but then it's like, I'm not even sure that those are gonna fit me like this, but uh, all right, all right.
They will again soon.
Are you sure you're going to be okay being stuck? You're going to be stuck with me for 2 weeks. I hope you're all right with that.
I've suffered through worse. He holds out his hand again.
Ansel takes it, gives it a squeeze. I don't know, I am a Toon, and we are known for our dramatics.
Oh, well, I'll do what I can to get through this. Just for you.
Oh, roll an insight. He's skeleton. You haven't seen expressions on the skeleton in a while.
It's been a hot
It's
second.
been a minute.
Oh, that's a bad roll.
That's the 7.
No.
You just see the eye sockets widen a little bit, but otherwise you get nothing, and he just nods. I right, yes, let's go.
Ansel. Like before he was, the wry sort of teasing smile as they did the usual banter. Um, but for just a moment, Zan he drops back to his serious expression. Ansel, please don't don't try to deal with these things by yourself, all right? I'm here for you.
And I consider myself one of the luckiest people for that. Thank you, Zan.
Anytime. He squeezes your hand again, and
Oh, hold
uh,
on, hold on, hold on. And actually, Ansel immediately, quickly retreats back into his study, and you hear a little shuffling around before Ansel shows back up with a folder full of sketches and drawings. Well, if
oh,
I if I am going to be there for 2 weeks, we can work on you can work on some of this few designs.
and Zen looks genuinely surprised, like sure that is what he's came for, but it was just completely wiped from his brain in the rest of this, and
What? That potion's only going to be simmering for 2 weeks. We're going to need something to do to pass the time.
you're right. I'm glad you're here to help me keep my head on straight.
I'm glad to be here. And he goes back forward and I think he starts to reach for Zan's hands, but then he stops for a moment. It's just like can he can he just take your hand?
And then again, like he catches that hesitation. Um, he knows that Ansel gets a little bit twitchy around contact, so he will take the initiative, take that hand again, and off we go.
Off we go. I'm dying a little bit. Do we want to keep?
Mm,
Do we? I kind of want to keep going, but I also want to take a quick break and get water.
yeah, I need to do a quick bio break myself.
Yeah, yeah. Let's do like a quick bio break, and then we'll be back because I don't want to stop there.
Hee hoo.
I don't
All
want
right,
to.
be right back,
We'll be
friends.
right back. One. And we are back. And no, cat. As soon as I unpaused it, I might have. If they keep that up, I'm gonna have to kick them out. But for now, we are. Hee hoo. We're back.
Hee hee.
So I think there is the offer of because Erroll is like yes he is arrested and in jail, but he also I mean they're not going to deny him guests if Zan wants to check in on him.
Yeah, I think Zan would want to go see him, which just makes an awkward moment of role playing against myself, basically.
I we can I
Um,
think Ansel makes the point of saying it's probably best that I not go in there. I think I'm the last person he would want to see at the moment.
Um, and then he hesitates specifically because he doesn't like the idea of leaving you alone outside.
That is when Jenka comes up and it's just like if it makes you. I think she catches on immediately. Immediately is there next to Ansel. Is just like relax. Carter will come in there with you just to keep an eye on him, and I'll be here with old Grumpy. Old Grumpy. That is a terrible nickname. Yeah, well, that's what I'm calling you. So deal with it. Hmm.
Thank you, Jenka. Um, I'll just he looks at Ansel again and goes, I'll just be a moment.
I'll be right. I'll be right here.
um, and he'll go in to see his buddy, his pal.
I will say, Uni, this is me giving you an out in that you don't have to role play with yourself.
There, I basically it's one of those things where it's just like I can't even fully anticipate where the conversation will go. And I feel like that's maybe I'll just like write something out
Yeah,
later
yeah,
to like sum it up. So yeah, he goes in there and it's a few minutes before Zan comes out. His expression is difficult to read, specifically because he is being stone faced, and not because I have not yet decided how the conversation goes.
yeah. He's trying to just keep a level head for however that went.
Yeah. And he straightens his coat and nods to Ansel and goes, "Well, shall we?"
Hmm. Yes, that is. Jenko, you'll be sure to let. Yes, yeah. I'll let Gartho know. Though you should probably get going before Gartho stops you and talks your ear off for. Oh wait, you don't have ears. Well, talks Zan's ear off for however many hours. Yes, that is true. We should go before Gartho catches us, because then they will never be able to get away.
Well, then we'll have a whole nother emergency on our hands.
Indeed, and yeah, old man, hand in hand, quickly escape little corner before the mayor's secretary finds out.
The greatest threat of all.
Yeah, we joke, but Gartho really
No,
can.
it is genuinely like, yeah, he certainly can talk.
He really can.
um
He really can. Probably just as they're going through the teleporter, Gartho is running, just to be like, wait, Ansel, wait, no, ah, oh, darn it.
um God, yeah. They I expect sort of just uh warp away with the echoes of uh Eartho behind them.
Mm-hmm. Ansel actually kind of he can't breathe, but there's the impression of a sigh of relief there, of just, oh, thank Peck. That
And he goes,
I would not have
see,
hmm, would
and
not
he's
have had
already looking up.
small favors. And if you'll just give me 1 minute, I'm gonna go kick the cats out. Okay, unpause the recording. I'm back.
Welcome back from
Cat wrang-
herding cats.
Yeah, cat wrangling. It's a much more difficult profession than you think. I commend anyone who has to deal with it on a daily. Anyways, old men are now
In cinema.
in cinema. Yeah. Um, it
And
it's
this is I will say this is the first time where Zan like genuinely looks apologetic about the hike, and he goes, um,
this is where I roll a deck. This is where I roll a deck. Do I roll dex or con? Both are
no,
Actually, what
you
am I
know
saying?
what?
Both are garbage.
First, Zan will like as they get to like the actual like hiking part of it, that's not as on the beaten path. Zan will look at Ansel and go, um, do you do you want me to carry you?
I uh, I'm sure I can. I'm sure I can manage for. I've managed it before. I'm sure I can manage it again for a 2 hour
All right.
hike. And I'm just gonna roll. They're both garbage, and they're both the same. They're both the same negative. So I'm just gonna. What are their neg? What are their neg? I haven't looked at this character sheet in 1,000 years. There it is. They're both garbage. As an 11, he probably makes it halfway before you just hear. He makes it halfway, probably in the middle of a conversation, or maybe just quietly walking when you suddenly hear just that. And Ansel suddenly just help, and he just completely face first into the dirt, and
Oh,
you
hold
just
on. Let me boop boop boop. Zan like dives to catch him.
you've you now have uh, you now have a skeleton in your arms, and Ansel looks down the path you've just walked and sees just his foot and just sees uh his foot just a few feet behind you both. Oh hell. I,
Oh,
I did not miss this at all.
no, you did always like to act like you had everything together. Um,
I'd like to think I did. I would like to think I did, though. If I'm being honest, that is not the first time that this has happened on walking up this hill. Don't suppose this would convince you to move closer to town, but perhaps that's wishful thinking.
well, I'll see what I can do about finding you a shortcut at least. And he will go stoop down to fetch Ansel's foot. He's not putting you down.
Ansel has
He
noticed
goes,
this, and he looks like he's about to say something, but then he just decides, no, he'll stay quiet.
um, and then he will adjust to his hold on you and goes, let me know if you're uncomfortable. And he'll continue the hike.
No, I'm. This is, while not my usual, it is fine.
Hmm. You haven't gotten a royal palanquin escort in a while.
Sadly, no. I will say that's maybe the one.
Oh,
That's maybe the one thing I've missed, but
unfortunately, mayors don't get quite the same treatment, do they?
no, unfortunately not. Though Gartho offered to have me wagoned around, but that just seemed unnecessary.
Well, it is sweet of him to offer.
The wagon he offered was covered in ribbons, which were nice, but a little much.
I don't know. I think it would suit you.
And skeleton eye sockets tunishly squint at you. It would depend on the
And just
ribbons.
laughs.
Oh yes, yes. Tease the dead man. Very. I see how it is. Tease the dead man.
I just think it would brighten up your image.
Are you saying I do not have a bright image? And he looks.
Oh no, you are the absolute picture of forthcoming friendliness.
It's not. Well, it's not so. It's not easy, but I do try. After all, I've had a good example to learn from. He shoots a wry, as close of a wry grin as a skeleton is capable of at Zan.
Are, are you saying you try to learn from me? Goodness.
Oh, I know, it's shocking.
And I didn't think you would have anything left to learn after all these years.
Oh, I wasn't expecting to either, to be honest, but here we are.
Here we are indeed. Well, if there's anything I picked up that you haven't, I'm not sure you are living your life to the fullest.
Mm, possibly.
Well, third time's the charm, right?
Always in threes. Always in threes.
Oh, old man banter.
Old man banter. They just continue the banter up to the house.
um, yeah, it is uh same as usual, it is uh getting to be springtime, so his garden is like just starting to to pick up sprouts and bloom. Um, he gently sets you he gently sets you down, and I think he actually like refastens your foot for you.
There's a Cinderella joke to be made here.
There sure is. um he is like, you are extremely light. You are, literally nothing but bones, but
Yeah,
it was still a little bit awkward for the hike. He's a little bit out of breath from the trek. Um and he goes,
you're all right. You you all right?
I am. Whew, I think I just need I'll whip myself up some lemonade. Would you like a glass?
Ansel just looks at Zan.
And like, you look at Zan and you expect him to be like having that wry grin, but he's just like genuine, like, I know you don't need it. Would you like one?
I I I don't know what you're expecting me to do with it. I mean,
Sometimes just the act of it is nice, even if it's not required.
I I suppose. All right. I genuinely am not sure
Either
what will
way.
come with it, but I won't say no.
Um, yeah, Zan will lead you in. He does a quick sort of Blink must have stepped out. He'll uh,
We should. Is Has Mr. Lightly been staying here for a while?
he's been in and out. Um, we're in the process of making some plans, but uh,
Maybe
you'll likely see him at some point.
Maybe best we give him warning before he sees me. The last time he saw me like this, you, yes, better to warn him. I would not want to frighten him.
You're right. Um,
Cut, cut to, cut to a flashback of skeleton antler kicking Blink down a hole.
yeah, not great.
Yeah.
Then he will take a moment. He like traces the pattern in the air as he casts message over to Blink. Just a heads up, Blink. Ansel has come to stay with us for a few weeks. He has had an accident. Looks how we first met him.
If he
Just letting you know.
if he sees Ruby in that time, do not tell her.
Do not tell Ruby, please. Um, yeah, so Mock is listening. Mock knows he got the message.
Yeah.
Fun times.
Fun times. Fun times.
Yeah. And then he will gesture for Ansel. Well, make yourself at home. I'll be right back.
Ansel's been has made enough visits here to also know his way around the place as well.
Certainly. Um, After a couple minutes, then he comes back with two glasses of lemonade, and he does have a small smile as he offers one to Ansel. Is like, well, even if you don't want it, um, I don't want you to feel left out.
Well, I appreciate the sentiment, if nothing else, and he will reach out and the take the glass. He has to hold it with both hands because bony hands don't really have friction or pads.
Yeah, it's easy for it to slip out of those
Bones.
bony digits.
Yup, yep.
Um,
I think he takes a moment to hold it and look at it for a moment and just and I think he like stares at it a moment before kind of just shaking his head and shaking the thought away and I think Zan probably found him. I'm trying to think. He's probably just in whatever counts as like a living room. Or no, actually, you know what? No, he's probably gone to. No, yeah, actually, yeah. He's in the living. He is in the living room, just sort of. He's not really sure what to do. He's been here plenty of times. That each time he's been here, it's not to stay over for a really long time. It was to do maybe some work and maybe hang out for like a little bit and then leave. But now he looks a little. Maybe he looks just a little lost.
um, Zan, like, oh God, I guess Ansel probably hasn't spent the night before, huh?
I don't think he has.
And like Zan has this moment of just like realization, like, oh wow, yeah. Um, I I hold on a moment. I'll grow you a guest room real quick. Um,
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. You'll grow a guest room. Did I hear that right?
oh yes, it's no problem at all. Just a moment, and he places a hand on sort of the stairway that leads out to his and Blink's room, and you can feel the twisting, sort of the frumbling of the tree as an extra branch juts out and leads the way to the wood reshapes itself into an extra room. Um, it's it doesn't have much in the way of furnishings, but it should be comfortable for you while you're here. Um,
Ansel is
sorry.
just staring. I have known you for the better part of a year now, and I did not know your house could do that.
Well, that's why I live here.
Hmm. Hmm. I think Ansel's just kind of not say anything, kind of just nods. Bit impressed. Magical house. I mean, hey, magical tree, magical tree house.
Magical treehouse.
Where are the books?
um, and Zach goes, of course you I know you will you have full access to my library. I know it's not quite as robust as yours, but you know, what's mine is yours while you're here.
Don't say that. Don't say that when concerned with books, or I might walk off with some.
Well, I would know where to find you.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
Um, he sort of hoists up your bag of things that he also carried for you. Goes, here, I'll drop these off in your room. You can get comfortable. Take a seat and we'll get started.
All right. All right then. Ansel still maybe looking just a tad bit lost. He's still, I don't know. He just feels. I think he's just still just weird at the moment, given everything.
Yeah, no kidding. Then he comes out a minute later, like he if Ansel hasn't like sat down on one of the chairs, he will guide Ansel over to the chair and sit down across from him. Ansel, how are you?
At the moment, I am. Kind of looks at the glass of lemonade that's still in his hand. It's how to put it to. I don't care for how. I don't care for the. Not that I. Not that I do not. Uh, hmm, this is cold lemonade. Yes, I. I can't. I can't really tell.
Yes, it is.
I think he goes and I imagine they've got like a table or something near them on the nearby the chairs that he can just put the
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
He goes ahead and puts the lemonade down. I I will be honest. This is not. I do not enjoy this, but I will. I will manage for the time. I will be able to manage for the 2 weeks.
Oh, Ansel.
And I do not. And I imagine we will have the clothing designs to work on, obviously. But I imagine there are other things that could that could use my help around here to pass the time.
Hmm. Well, I could use a few more dance lessons.
Are you sure? But I cannot promise my feet are not going to pop off.
Well, you won't feel it when I step on them, so I may as well take advantage without
That's.
the worrying.
Well, no, I won't feel it, but you still should not be stepping on my feet. That will not be a good thing.
Well, if you're worried, then we'll hold off for now.
I have. I do have. Well, I've already told you of the little adventure I had a while ago. We'll have more crystals for the. Should still have enough crystals for another potion, and again, anything extra can be sent to people who need it.
Promise me you'll keep some for yourself this time. I I don't I hope it won't come to it, but there
I
are people
I know.
who
I know. If anything, today was a very sharp reminder. Or well, not today, but a few days ago.
there's just this moment where like Zan stares because he didn't realize it wasn't today. No one mentioned that. And it's just like occurring in his brain, like, oh, Ansel was alone for multiple days like that.
I don't think it even occurs to Ansel that he said it. I think he's not even he's looking off to the side in thought.
And I think he will, dulled senses, but he will feel the clutch at his hand. And as he looks over, like, Zan is peering up a little bit.
Oh,
So
why?
he pulls you into a hug again and
Oh,
just,
and Zan, really, I will be fine. I will be fine. What is?
you shouldn't have to be fine.
It's
So I know you beat yourself up for everything, and don't deserve this. I'm going to keep saying it until you start believing me. You don't deserve this.
don't I?
No.
Zan, it has barely been a year, and I can still remember how I was. How we met. I wasn't kind to you. I wasn't kind to anybody. I I died.
The fact that you care, the fact that you hold on to that pain, you've already changed so much. You're so much better than you give yourself credit for. You have touched so many people in such a short time.
But how long will it last? Maybe I've changed, but what's to say I will not? What's to say I will not be back? What's to say the antlered king won't decide to come back?
Antlered King is you, and you would never choose to do that again. Is there any part of you that would ever wish for that?
I don't know. I don't know, and it terrifies me to think about. Terrifies me. Zan, I am. And I think actually, Zan, you feel arms wrap around you again as the bony figure in your arms just kind of starts shaking a little bit. I am terrified, and even like this, I barely feel it.
You want you want to feel again, don't you? You want to drink lemonade and feel my hands on yours, and you want to eat leftovers that your friends have given you. You want these things. You didn't before.
It's only been a few days, and I did not think I would miss them so.
You value something you didn't before. Those values determine what you'll do and what what you are. And once upon a time, once upon a time, you would do anything for very, very different values.
Ansel's face is buried, is just buried in your shoulder, and
And
he
now you have something else to care about, and you have other people who care about you. I care about you so much. Please, even if you can't, even if you can't accept yourself yet, please know that there are so many of us who care about you.
I I will try. Zan, I would I would very much like to be able to cry right now.
I'll do that for you right now as well.
All right, thank you, thank you, thank you. I think he just squeezes you, and it he squeezes you as much as he can, and it doesn't hurt at all because again, bones and -3 to strength.
And he squeezes back much more gently because even if he is not the strongest, you are a fragile being right now.
Yeah, even Zan could very much easily break this skeleton man. Though as they pull
What
back,
he squeezes hard enough that even in your muted state, you can feel it. He wants to make sure of at least that much.
He does appreciate that, but I think as they pull back, you said that Zan was tearing up. I'm just gonna roll
Oh
hammer.
yeah.
I'm gonna roll hammer space real quick. Yeah. Oh wow, that was a 10. Wow. Uh, Ansel starts to pull back from the hug, sees that Zan has tears, and just goes, "Oh, hold on, won't be able to, won't be able to get to work looking like that." And he reaches behind him, pulls from his hammer space a possibly a familiar looking handkerchief, and he just reaches up and just kind of without thinking about it, just starts wiping away the tears.
Ugh. And as you're doing that, yeah, Zan recognizes the handkerchief and he starts like crying all all the harder of just God.
Oh, Ansel almost Ansel. There's just the slightest slant of skeleton teeth to make it look like a grin, and just perhaps I don't have to feel so bad about not being able to cry. You seem to be doing enough for the two of us.
One of us has to. God.
There, there, there now. Perhaps you would like to take my lemonade, and that way you at least stay hydrated.
Perhaps so. And he just like squeezes your hand one more time. Just like he doesn't even say anything. He's just like he's got tears and just this very wet smile as he looks at you.
God, I think Ansel just stares at Zan like this. He looks like a mess with all those tears. Even as he's trying to wipe them away, and roll insight.
Come on,
Come
Zan.
on, Zan.
Come on, buddy. I believe in you. 19.
You see Ansel is just staring at you, Zan, and you just see dawning realization, followed by just a small, oh.
I'm sorry. You shouldn't be mopping me up.
No, 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 no. It's fine. The least I can do. I've mopped up worse messes, and I would hardly count this as the worst of them.
Well, I'm glad that I've got an expert here to help.
Uh, don't know if I would call. Don't know if expert is the term we want to use, but I'll take it.
Oh, I'm sorry. Give me a moment. I'll let's just splash some water on my face and we can get started properly.
Hmm. All right. Think
Gives
maybe.
one more squeeze of the hand before getting up.
Yeah. He lets Zan go. Watches him go and just seems to be thinking to himself for a moment. Looks down at the handkerchief, casts prestidigitation on it to clean up the tears, but doesn't put it away right away. He now just seems to be deeply thinking about what he's just realized, And maybe there's a bit of uncertainty there for the moment, just for the state he's in, he's not sure if he can maybe trust it just yet. I feel like that's a good place to have there be, I don't know, montage?
Sure.
Unless there's something you.
No, no. I think that's a good moment of just like mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah. How do you think the next 2 weeks go? Because they know how to make they've made the potion before, and it's weirdly
They
enough,
do. This
not an incredibly difficult potion to make. It's just a matter of having the right ingredients and the time and
yeah,
taking the
it's
time.
mostly expensive ingredients. A lot of time it's like again, these two are experienced mages like it and they have a lot of really important magically enhanced tools to help them with the process. So
Yep. It
it
also
really is a
helps.
matter of like, yeah.
Yeah. It also
Also, Blink, I imagine, will be popping in to help, um, being a wonderful boy. Yes,
Yep.
Mock says yes.
Yep.
um,
I do want to say
uh,
during that time, Ansel's probably had like a call over the standy speaky with either Duster and Ruby, and while he does not mention specifics, that he is gonna have a talk with them when he gets back. It's not that he doesn't. It's not that he wants to keep. And he explains this to Zan at some point. He does not want to keep this from them. It is just a matter that he does not want Ruby to know about this while he is not there to keep her from trying to kill Erroll.
that's you know what I can understand that. It's a complicated situation.
He
Um,
knows that she will not be happy with him over this, but he also knows he just this is one of the things where a very rare occasion he will ask Ruby to trust him and that he will tell her everything when
mhm.
when he gets back.
And as they're working, there's lots and lots of old man banter. There's a bit of like in the times where they're waiting for things to simmer and prepare and ripen. Um, there's them working on their clothing project. Zan sort of showing off the cloth making process while Ansel is sketching various designs and
Ansel
um
also does what probably does maybe like in quote unquote exchange for the dance lessons. Zan Zan teaches Ansel a bit about just sewing and making clothes because Ansel
oh,
has
absolutely.
somewhat of an interest.
Yeah, yeah, there's definitely some sewing projects that happen. I imagine like the downtime there's a lot of them just working on projects together or reading together. If Ansel will allow it, Zan will ask if he wants to help in the garden on a couple days.
Ansel
Those
have
sorts of things.
Ansel have no trouble helping in a garden. Uh,
Okay,
Zan
good.
Ansel had because and Zan probably knows about it by now. Ansel has his own garden.
Oh, right. Yeah. Yeah. Um, and yeah, I think it's a montage, but like despite the dramatic circumstances that led to it, it's very slice of lifey.
Yeah, very slice. There's maybe like sometimes in the day, but I think mostly there's probably like maybe uh, one or two nights that Ansel just has a bit. because he doesn't need sleep like this, and he doesn't even know if he can. So he kind of, I think he spends the nights. Honestly, he probably like busies himself with cleaning something, be it dishes or dusting, and just busying himself through the nights. But there's probably maybe a few nights where it's nothing. There's nothing to do, and some nights are rough. Some nights are rough for him. It is 2 weeks to wait for the potion to be done.
Yeah. Yeah. Um,
And we don't need to role play this part because we're over 2 hours in. Uh,
yeah, this has been a long one.
yeah, I do imagine there's at least one night where Zan might wake up to something breaking, because something that Ansel was trying to clean had slipped from his grasp, and Ansel's like attempt and might have to like comfort Ansel so he does not have a meltdown.
Yeah, they probably just have a night where, yeah, they just sort of like Zan's a little bit of it's been a while since he's had a really bad night, but it does happen, and sometimes he can't get back to sleep. Um, and I imagine they can just sort of like spend a few hours just together, comforting.
Yeah, just
Um,
sitting with you, just sitting with each other,
yeah,
talking or not talking. I think either way, I think just the company alone is comfort enough for the both of them.
yeah.
But eventually, we do get to the end of the 2 weeks. Potion is it's has reached its golden hue, magically golden.
Hmm. And Zan is still like despite everything going like they have the experience, they know how this works. He is still like spending the entire day just like reading and rereading and going over all their notes just because like he wants to be extra super mega 100% certain that they didn't mess this up at any point because it is important for Ansel to have this work. And
and
it's
and
just
and
like,
and Ansel eventually, like, I think Ansel's like just kind of standing there watching Zan like pace a little bit, muttering to himself before he's just like, Zan, I we I think we have done everything we can. I think it is good.
just, I want to be sure you let yourself be a test subject the first time and don't want you to have to, but don't have anything else to test it on. But
I mean, I could get a plant from outside, burn it, and try it on that.
oh, gosh, you're so practical. Slightly destructive.
You should try.
Fine.
You should try it sometimes. It can be very cathartic.
Oh, fine. Fine. You're right. I'm stressing. I just want to be sure.
Zan,
This is
and
important.
he will put skeleton hands on Zan's shoulder. You are a brilliant wizard. I, while not a wizard anymore, am also brilliant. So it stands to reason that the potion will work just fine. You take a breath. I will go get the plant. I will burn it real quick, and then we'll do a quick test. And if that works, then well, the only thing left to do is for me to try it.
Okay. Right. Of course.
take a breath. I'll be right back. And he will go outside. Go outside real quick. He'll just pick. He's not gonna go to Zan's garden because that's mean. He's gonna go just to the nearest bush outside the front door and grab. He'll just grab a branch or something. Doesn't need to be like the full plant. He'll grab the branch. He'll
Yeah.
bring it inside. Firebolt. Psh, enough so that it's not burnt to like an absolute crisp, but it is definitely a dead branch. Uh, all right then.
Yeah.
Then he will. He'll just take it, put it over the potion, and dip it in. Maybe takes a few seconds before the branch itself will start to glow with a golden light. And a few minutes later, it is a fully like revived branch with leaves all over it. Yes, I think that works.
It's a pretty good sign.
Well then, would you pass me the ladle, please?
Okay. He hands it over. He's just like looking very intensely at the potion, just like, oh God, he's so anxious, but also there's literally nothing else can be done to assuage his fears beyond just doing it.
Yeah, yeah. And Ansel knows this, and he reaches over, gives Zan's shoulder a squeeze, just a comforting squeeze, and then goes over to the cauldron. He's ladles out just a spoonful, and just all right then, and just downs it, and once again, takes a few moments, and then a bit like before, though I think it's a bit different now because before he was a full on lich, but now at the moment he's his the magic that made him a lich, that's gone. That's been gone. The magic that has him just as a skeleton now is just that of his pact. So Ansel at this point does not actually like keel over or anything in pain as skin regrows, but he just starts glowing, and you see once again as you know. Actually, you don't really see it because he's wearing sleeves. You maybe see it in the back, maybe the open back, but yeah, his skin and muscles, they reform over bone, and hair regrows from his head. Slowly, the charcoal black antlers start to turn back to their familiar red, healthy red hue. And once again, Ansel is standing there alive. And I want to say his hair has actually grown back to the longer length that it was at the first time. Ansel stands there for a moment, just flexing his hands a little bit. He flex much like the first time. He flexes them again, and blue electrical magic just dances along his fingertips. And he takes in a breath, and he takes in a breath, and that is. I'm gonna make a whiz save again.
Hmm.
17. I'm gonna do this at disadvantage because
Oh,
I can. Yeah. Oh, that was a nat one.
that's a nat one.
That's a nat one. Okay. Yeah. He takes a breath and he is immediately falling down to his knees, just clutching his chest and and just. Oh God. And his tears are immediately just falling down his face as he is just alive again and feeling, and he is feeling again, and it is overwhelming. I, I,
And
oh, why am I crying? Why am I crying? I've done this before. Before this was not nearly like this before. Why? Oh God.
Zen like kneels down next to him. He's already tearing up again, and uh, puts puts a hand over Ansel's, and he goes, "Well, how do you feel?"
Uh, I feel I feel like if I keep crying, I'm going to dry up again. Oh, do not tell me you're crying. That does not help, Zan.
I'm
Uh,
sorry. I'm sorry. Oh,
no apologies, no apologies. And without thinking, he just pulls Zan into a hug and just hugs him and actually feels how warm he is.
oh. Welcome back.
Glad to be back. And I think I cry for a little bit like that uh, until you hear a tunish gurgle, gurgle, gurgle. Ah,
Oh, goodness.
it,
You haven't eaten in a fortnight, have you?
I have not.
Oh, goodness. Well,
Don't suppose I can.
and then he very reluctantly pulls back, and both of them are just like blotchy, red faced.
Yeah.
Um, but Zan is just grinning ear to ear, just so relieved, and goes, "Don't worry, I I will take care of it. Come on." And he helps you stand up again and goes, "Goodness. Well, and I've got some lemonade ready for you."
Oh, good. I would very much like some lemonade.
Mm.
Though before you get too far, Zan, Ansel does hesitate for a second before he pulls you back in for another hug. Just a tight squeeze and just thank you.
It's like I said, anytime. I'm here for you. And he squeezes back much tighter this time because he doesn't have to worry about breaking him, except he squeezes so tight that he may still all the same because he's so glad.
Ansel just enjoys the hug up to the point you hear just a crick, and Ansel goes, ah.
Oh no.
I'm still
I'm
I'm
sorry.
I'm still fragile. It's all right. It's all right. I'm hold on. And he crick. Ah, I'm good. I'm fine.
Oh
Oh,
goodness.
my face is a mess. Oh goodness.
I guess we'll have to get you started on a stretching regimen again after we get you fed.
Oh joy. We can we can, as much as I enjoy, as much as this has been an absolute joy. Let's not do this again. I think I'd much prefer staying alive.
Yes, I think well, if it were to happen again, the stress may very well kill me.
Oh, we can't have that.
All right. And he holds out a pinky. Promise.
And Ansel actually has a wry grin on his face before he raises his own pinky and hooks it with Zan's. A promise, then.
Ah,
I think it's been a minute since I've tried your cooking. It's or your lemonade. I certainly hope both are better than your tea.
of course you would bring that up. Well,
I could not resist.
well, nothing else. You will get a full. God, I out of character, blanking on the words for
Uh,
proper
yeah,
sassiness.
yeah.
You will
Ansel's.
get a full course of whatever flavors await.
Oh joy! In all honesty, I imagine I'll eat. I imagine I will eat anything. I have not eaten in 2 weeks. I think I'll eat anything at this point.
And then you going to bed.
God, bed. Actually, don't say that yet. Don't not until I've eaten because let's get food in me before my body remembers it hasn't slept in 2 weeks.
We will get you full and extra sleepy. Don't worry. Sit down, relax. I will have a delicious lunch whipped up for you post
Ansel
haste.
Ansel has a full smile when you say that.
And like Zan, his tea is garbage. His cooking is fine. Um,
I know.
it's
Ansel.
not it just for clarity's sake. Yes, he is not the best chef in the world, but he is serviceable. And when you have not eaten anything in 2 weeks, oh, it tastes great.
No, Ansel knows that Zan's cooking is fine. It's just any chance to tease Zan about the horrid tea, he'll take it.
Ansel is the one person who refuses to let it go by uncommented.
He will. Everyone else does. Everyone else is too nice to tell Zan otherwise. Ansel has to be the one to stand his ground.
um, and I think, is there anything else you wanted to hit, or should we close out on these two very wet, very, very alive and emotional and warm old men teasing each other as he finally gets fed?
I think I think just as two notes, just two notes. One is that
Mm-hmm.
Zan will notice that there is now a scar on Ansel's back. Uh, I want to say maybe a bit of like a star shape of where the sword had been.
Mm.
So he now has that. And then just as a second note more for the audience. I don't think Zan sees it because Ansel doesn't let him see it, but there's at some point where Ansel is just looking at Zan and just a look of affection crosses his face and just that dawning realization again and thinking about it a bit more and oh, and I think it's not until after he's maybe waved goodbye to Zan and he is heading back home. He has a moment alone. Just oh, I think I'm in love, and that's it. And
That's
yeah,
it.
that is that has been our 12 FPS returned to form.
It was, oh boy.
Ah, we have been waiting so long to do this.
That was a juicy one, eh?
So good.
Just
So
full
good.
up to the brim. Oh boy.
Hee hoo.
Ah,
Hee hoo. Uni,
he hoo
I
he.
give you big hug.
Oh, Fable.
Ansel has reached the realization.
Look how
And,
much he's grown.
yup.
Again.
Yup. And the long hair is back, so that'll be. I don't know if he'll cut. He might cut it again, but uh, oh, I better end the recording. He's gonna have fun things to return to. Ruby's not gonna be happy with him. He's gonna have a lot to
Oh
explain.
God, yeah. That's gonna be a fun conversation.
Yeah, no.
Oh, Erroll.
Yeah, Errol, buddy.
Oh, you dumbass. You oh, my dumb boy. But that is
It's an
how
issue.
it goes sometimes.
Yeah, an issue for another day. But until then, thank you all for listening. We hope to see you all again next time. And until then, bye.
Bye.